Hello, I'm Jooan Yoo from G12, and for my senior portfolio, I'll be talking about standardized exams and financial aid. So I hope my information is helpful, and I'm gonna dive right into it. So in this presentation, I will mainly talk about me. So I will tell you about my scores and college. And number 2, standardized tests. I will tell you what kind of tests are important. And number 3, financial aid. I will tell you about financial aid and what the financial aid process looks like. So the reason why I chose standardized tests and financial aid for my main topic is that I think that those two parts played a huge role in my entire college application process. So yeah, alright then, next. So let me tell you about my scores first. So my SAT score was 1510, and I took AP, five subjects. 2 of those 5 was calculus, so calculus A, B, and BC were both 5. Chemistry, I got 5. Statistics, I got 5, and microeconomics, again 5. So basically, I think I took all the classes that Justin teacher offered at our school. So if you are a student who have a lot of interest in STEM subjects, I definitely 100% recommend you that take Justin teacher's classes. And in case of TOEFL, I got 109, but since I took twice, if I super score that, it would be 111. So about these, all the standardized exams thing, I'll be talking about it more detail in the later in this presentation. And let's move on to my college. So about my college, my college is NYU Abu Dhabi, and it's located in Abu Dhabi, UAE. So my college is one of 3 degree granting campuses of NYU. And the median SAT score is 1500, and its acceptance rate is about 4%, and this school is very small, so I guess there are only about like 1,600 students in our school, and the student to faculty ratio is 1:6. Why NYUAD? The reason why I chose NYUAD as my college because that I loved its generous financial aid so much. So I believe the grant is different student by student, but in my case, my financial aid grant included tuition, dorm, insurance, meal, books, and flight. So basically, I guess everything that I need in my university life. And number 2, international student body. My college is very diverse, and I love the diversity and the diverse environment that I could feel in the community. So yeah, students are from over 115 countries. And number 3, NYU study away opportunities. So in NYU, there are like 15 study away sites all over the world. So maybe I can go to London, New York, Paris, Shanghai, LA, like a lot of big cities all around the world. So I really loved it. And small class size and active interaction with professors I really liked it as well. So as I said before, the student to faculty ratio is 1:6, so it was a perfect choice for me, I guess. Yeah, so next, Alright, so now I'm going to talk about standardized tests from now on. So, alright, so let's get into it. What tests should you take? So mainly I listed three exams. So number 1 is SAT, 2 is AP, 3 is TOEFL. And a lot of students, a lot of you guys might think that the importance of the exams is not like the past. I mean, like before the coronavirus era. And yes, I think that's true. I agree with that. But however, I think they are still very essential. So let's take a look what they are like. So number 1, SAT or ACT. Yeah, you can also take ACT, but I think most of the students take or took SAT at our school recently. So SAT was a must before COVID-19 era for most colleges, but many colleges, as y'all know, are going test optional these days. But as I said before, it's still a very important factor. So SAT has math, reading, writing, and grammar sections, and the perfect score is 1,600. So ACT is a little bit different. ACT is the maximum score you can get is 36, I guess, and the section. There are 4 sections like science, math, reading, and grammar. So yeah, that's a little bit different, but yeah, these exams are really important. And number 2 is AP. So in AP, there are a lot of subjects that you can take. You choose what you want to take, and the score range is from 1 to 5. The minimum score is 1, and the maximum score, the best score you can get, is 5. And another important factor, AP is another important factor, since it shows that you challenged yourself by taking rigorous classes at high school. So it's a huge plus point if you get a good score on the exams. And but in my opinion, I would like to say that AP can never be more important than SAT. So if you're not satisfied with your SAT score, then I hope you concentrate more on the SAT. Yeah. And lastly, if you take AP, you can get college credit if you get a great score like 4 or 5. So yeah, that's another huge plus point of AP. And next, all right, TOEFL. TOEFL is another important test if you're an international student. So if you have some American citizenship, I think you don't have to take this test. And the score ranges from 0 to 120, and there are 4 sections of reading, listening, speaking, and writing. So and I would like to say it's better if you take this TOEFL test as soon as possible. So when you feel you're ready, then go to the test center and take it. I can say that, yeah, TOEFL, if you take as soon as possible, it's great. All right, we talked about some major tests. Now let's talk about financial aid. So, all right, financial aid. So there are 3 main things: CSS Profile, FAFSA, and scholarship. CSS Profile is a need-based aid. So anyone can use this regardless of nationality. So I used CSS Profile, and many of you might have to use the CSS Profile as well. And FAFSA, in case of FAFSA, it's also a need-based aid, but only American citizens and permanent residents are eligible, I guess. So I couldn't do it, but if you have an American citizen, you should definitely search that and maybe try to use that. And number 3, scholarship is usually considered merit-based. So this is a merit-based aid which is granted based on your academic achievements. So maybe the college will decide if you are good enough to get a scholarship, academically good enough to get a scholarship. So yeah, all right, so next. So CSS Profile, let's talk about CSS Profile more in detail. So if you need financial aid, CSS Profile is a must. So CSS Profile is also part of the College Board organization. So and to fill out the forms, you will need to ask your parents a lot of questions about your family's financial situations and prepare numerous official documents which would demonstrate your financial situation. So yeah, if you are going to apply for financial aid, definitely use CSS Profile. You can go to College Board website and do that. And alright, so in case of FAFSA and FAFSA, I don't know much about that. And scholarship, maybe you can get that when you get the acceptance letter from college. Next, which colleges are generous with financial aid for international students, of course. So let's take a look at that. So number 1, you can see here, highly prestigious colleges. 2, liberal arts colleges. 3, colleges outside of the US. I made those 3 categories. And all right, so number 1, highly prestigious colleges. All right, so colleges like Columbia, Harvard, and Yale, as you can see, below, are very well known for their generous financial aid for international students. So if you're really good academically, and then you should apply to these colleges. And if you get into this college, then maybe I guess you're very likely to get a good financial aid as well. Number 2 is liberal arts colleges. So a lot of liberal arts colleges also give generous financial aid. So some people think that liberal arts colleges only offer majors related to humanities but not STEM. But that's a common misinterpretation of liberal arts. So rather, liberal arts colleges refer to as colleges that only has undergraduate, not the graduate, but only undergraduate, right? So hope you don't misunderstand the concept. And many liberal arts colleges are also very prestigious and offer great financial aid. So as you can see below, Amherst is a very great liberal arts college. You can definitely say that that's a great college, and with a generous financial aid. And Williams is another good college, and Swarthmore is another very great college, liberal arts college that might give you great financial aid. All right, so next, colleges outside the US. So there are a lot of prestigious colleges outside the US as well. So if you need generous financial aid or less college expenses, I believe broadening the range of colleges is another great option. So as you can see below, NUS, NYU Abu Dhabi, HKUST, HKU, every single college here is very, very great. And hope you consider some colleges in other countries as well. So even though you don't get a great financial aid, I am sure that you won't have to pay as much as you will in the US, because the tuition is so expensive in the United States. So hope you consider this as well. So let's move on to next. So some tips that I would like to give you is number one, if you have a college that you really want to go to, then early decision is a must. So yeah, I also applied ED1 for NYU Abu Dhabi, and usually the acceptance rate in early decision pool is expected to be higher than in the regular decision. So hope you consider early decision. 81, 82, both are fine. And number two, if you think your test scores are good enough, spend more time on your extracurriculars. So some students might think that if you get like 15 over 1500, like 1510, 1520, some students might think that they should make higher scores like 1550 or 1560, but especially in this coronavirus era, I think that extracurriculars are very important as well. So if you think that your score is good enough, then hope you focus on other things as well. And as I said before, number three, take TOEFL ASAP. So if you think you're ready, hope you take the TOEFL test as soon as possible, because it's not a good feeling to rush at the very last stage of our college application because of the TOEFL test. So hope you do that as soon as possible. And number four, if you have someone who can help you with the college application process, don't hesitate to ask them. So college application, in my opinion, is a very long journey, and it's if you have someone who can help you with that, you're very lucky. So don't hesitate, and feel free to ask them about the process and how you can deal with everything that you face while you're applying to colleges. So okay, so yeah, that was my presentation. Thank you for listening, and if you have any question, feel free to ask me. You can find me at on Instagram. My user ID is just my name, Jooan. So yeah, feel free to ask me, and thank you for listening.